And is there a place where we need to be for you? Follow us around?
I don't know if I can go that way though because of the other people out there.
Okay.
So if y'all are over there, I'll probably just stay up there.
Stay in this area for the Facebook Live, so no one else.
Right. I was stay more in this so that we're not like. Okay. They will blind us. So.
Don't worry about talking about I'll stand you out. Yeah, you're on the right now. It's okay. I'll stand you out.
Good evening. How are you guys tonight? Wonderful. Welcome to the December edition of the Low Carb Support Group meeting. And tonight we are with HEALcare celebrating the holidays and health. I'm Amber Keithley. I'm the program advisor for HEALcare, along with Dr. Eric Westman. And we are very excited tonight to have a great program for you. We have a special guest. You all know who she is. Star out front. And we also have some really great giveaways tonight. You see, you have a bunch of giveaway packages up here, and there were forms on the table. And so everybody, each table needs to designate one person to hold all the tickets. So fill them out, pass them to that person, and then Tammy is going to come all the way around the room and get them. So, and at the end of the evening, we will draw for the prizes. And there's lots of great things. There's cookbooks. There are some packages with some sucrans. There's also some special ingredients that Christy uses all the time, and everybody says it's hard to find. There's some oat fiber, some isopure, whey protein isolate, and some peanut flour. So, and then we also have the Keto Shack has given us a wonderful gift here also with some skinny syrup, and it looks like some more sucre too. So, and I am very excited tonight about everything that's going on. Again, we're going to have a few questions at the end, but we really have a really great program for you. So, without further ado, our special guest is Christy Sullivan. Woo! And y'all know that Christy is like very famous, and she has written 3 wonderful books. You are famous, yes. And that is, let me see, Journey Worth Taking, Keto Living Day by Day, and tonight, the debut of Keto Gatherings. So Christy also works with DietDoctor.com. She has a YouTube channel, Cooking Keto with Christy. She has some Facebook groups that are extremely helpful to people, and that would be Simply Keto and Journey. Yeah, Journey to Health. Also, wonderful. Anyway, so without further ado, come on down, Christy, and say hello for a minute, and then we will let Dr. Westman talk. I guess we were here to see him, weren't we?
I'm kind of laughing because I thought I was last. I'm like, whoa, okay. Thank you guys. It is so much fun to share this time with you guys because this is a special day. The book released. I'm celebrating that. I'm retiring. I'm celebrating that. I have to tell you the truth about retirement. I actually have been home 4 of the past 6 working days. I have been the busiest in those 4 days that I think I ever was when I actually went into the office to work. But more than that, I'm excited to celebrate with Dr. Westman because even though he was never technically my physician, it was his plan that I started to follow in June of 2013 when I was so desperate to make my life different and to finally lose weight. So it is just a true privilege to be able to share this time with him and all of you. Thank you guys.
coming out tonight. And what a great group. There are a lot of people I recognize and a lot of people I don't, which is fantastic. We at the HEAL Clinics have had an amazing year, and I hope to enlighten you a little bit if you're just learning about it, or bring you up to speed if you're following along with the program as it grows over time. So just as a show of hands, how many of you tonight are already doing a keto or LCHF or low carb diet? And keep your hands up for me, please. Look around, you're not alone. In fact, most folks have their hands up. Not you though, I'm just kidding. So how many of you, keep your hands up, how many of you have been doing keto, LCHF, low carb, however you want to say it, for more than 6 months? Keep your hands up. For more than a year, keep your hands up. For more than 2 years, keep your hands up. For more than 5 years, keep your hands up. For more than 10 years, keep your hands up. For 20 years, yeah. So you and me, Doris. My hand is still up. So I've been in front of, I calculated about 1,400 people over the last several months with that exact question. And I would say just about everyone had their hands up at the beginning and hands up at a year, and then there was a drop off between a year and 2 years. And then at one conference, the biggest one that occurred over the last several months up in Washington, D.C., Jackie Eberstein and I were the only ones with the hands up for 20 years or more. The reason why I think that's important is it shows that you're not alone. It shows that there is a big uptick between the last year and two of folks who are at least coming out to these gatherings. And when I say that in front of 1,400 people, that means we started in Houston and then Vancouver and then Washington, D.C., Roxborough. How many of you were here at the Roxborough event? Fantastic. How about clapping for that one, okay? Thank you, Tammy. And thank you for the Person County, Tammy Jeffrey, the Person County support group for that one. That we estimated there were 390 folks who came out at the Westwood Baptist Church. In fact, it went so well, there's an encore performance this Saturday afternoon. If you haven't heard about it, you want to come out to the Westwood Baptist Church, please let Tammy know or just show up.
Yes,
yeah.
show up.
Awesome. So, and I heard a rumor that there's a ugly sweater contest. So if you like that, come on out Saturday in Roxborough to the Person County support group. So huge change over the last huge. I'm sorry?
I heard there was a band.
There might be a band. I'm working on that. Actually, I am proud to say and happy to say that I'll be getting Jennifer Evans to join us on Saturday. Jennifer is a Chapel Hill resident who sings widely in a wonderful voice, and hopefully we can accompany her, and maybe even the mayor of Roxborough will come out as well. So pray that it doesn't snow, and we'll hope to see you on Saturday. But so going around the country meeting all these people doing keto was an amazing experience for me, and so trying to take stock in how things have come along. There are a few slides I'd like to work through here. And, the giveaways for the live streamers. Now, not quite sure what this means. So, Amber.
Okay. So, because we were going to have giveaways for the people that were here tonight, we also wanted to offer the people that are watching live on our Facebook page, HEAL Clinic's Facebook page, an opportunity to win something also. So, for the live streamers, here are your rules, or are you actually where you go to enter. So you go to healclinics.com/livestream, and our winners will be announced live between 7 and 8 p.m. So tonight, yes. Wonderful. So anyway, that's our live streamers. Please go online and to healclinics.com/livestream. Thank you.
Wow, that's a first. That's fantastic. great to be able to be a part of a team that's growing and helping give away very important types of products to help sustain a keto or low carb lifestyle. You know, for those of you who haven't heard me give my 5-minute bio of how I got into this, I started in the keto medicine not by any major weight loss myself. It was because the patients in front of me at the Durham VA had a problem, and 2 of them actually solved their own problem. So here, this is the stylized, this is the VA in Durham, 1998, where I was in practice as a ambulatory care doctor, and I said to these 2 patients, "You're doing great. You know, how did you do this, losing 50 pounds?" And they said, "We went Atkins." That was the language back then. And there's this Atkins book, and it really wasn't until one of the patients said, "You know, that book was written before you were born," that I took it personally and actually went out, read the book, and I said, no, it's just an anecdote after anecdote. It doesn't mean anything, like most of your fellow doctors and skeptics will say today, but for me, this was 1998. So what would any self-respecting young researcher do? Well, he'd study it, right? So I went to Dr. Atkins and I said, "Do you need any research?" And he said, "I have all the evidence I need from thousands of patients." Yeah, he basically said, "Why would I want to do research? I know what the results will be. I've been doing this for 30 years. So you have to imagine now this younger me saying, "Well, none of that counts. You know, it's not a randomized controlled trial in the peer-reviewed literature." So he broke the ice by saying, "Come see for yourself." So I went up to the Atkins clinic, sat in the office of Dr. Atkins, Jackie Eberstein, and was quite skeptical. There's a picture of, yes, that's me here on the right, and Joel, and actually these are some of the business people, Dr. Atkins, and then Jackie Eberstein actually was the one who had me in her office, like I do today, 20 years later, showing other practitioners what I do. And I returned skeptical but open-minded and started our own research program. In fact, Dr. Atkins wrote the first check for the research out of his own personal checkbook. By the time the research got more expensive, the next time, they created an Atkins Foundation to fund research. And that was a bigger study that actually ended up in the Annals of Internal Medicine, which is one of the best internal medicine journals even today. And that was published in 2004. So to me, this is kind of old news, and I was reminded of how the world works, that there's a young PhD candidate who wanted to cite some of these papers, and I sent her a dozen papers, and she said, "Dr. Westman, these are more than 5 years old. I can't use them in my PhD program." So there's a built-in automatic dismissal of anything that's old in the kind of PhD research world. So anyway, started our own research program and came back to Duke. Let's see, missed that one. And then it was kind of a gradual process. Once I got into the idea that this was real and really worked, and I wanted to learn about it, Dr. Atkins slipped on the ice in New York City and died. That was 2003. And so, but since then, we've published peer-reviewed journal papers, meaning they've been through the process of publication. In my litmus test, if someone asks me about the Dr. Smith diet, I say, well, show me a paper of the Dr. Smith diet that's in a peer-reviewed journal, 50 people over 6 months, and show me what happened, and then I'll comment on it. Because you hear this all the time, right? What about this diet? What about that diet? So for us, that litmus test of doing the paper of 50 people over 6 months, show me what happened, was published in 2002. That was when we published our paper, which is the minimal level of evidence that I'll require before I comment on someone's program. Okay, so I was asked to write the New Atkins book with Steve Finney and Jeff Volek, and that one came out in 2010. It's probably the best book on nutrition ever written, not because of me, but because of Steve Finney and Jeff Volek, who are my co-authors. The chapters in there on fat and on protein are phenomenal. Keto clarity and cholesterol clarity. How many of you follow Jimmy Moore, Live and La Vida Low Carb? Jimmy is a prolific grassroots writer and blogger, has the longest podcast on health that anyone has. So after, let's see, we opened the keto medicine clinic at Duke in 2006, and now in 2014, I didn't see much change or have availability. So what would you do? It takes a year to get in to see me at the clinic at Duke. No one wants to hire other people in a clinic. So what we've done is we started 2 companies, one to increase the availability of access to this kind of information at a distance if you don't have a medical problem, or in a clinic if you do have a medical problem. That's called the HEAL clinics, HEALcare for Life. The other company, Adapt Your Life, and there's some products for free over here where you actually have low-carb, keto-friendly foods, and or bars or coffee shots, fat shots that don't have any artificial additives to it. So there's very highest quality sort of keto products. Basically because no one else was doing it. And what I've learned now is that as a grassroots movement, you can actually make change, you individually. And people ask me all the time, how, Dr. Westman, what can I do? How do I get started? I have some ideas for you today. At first, the Duke Clinic, I'm sad to say, there was one person today, I was at clinic today, it took a year to get in to see me. And they had on their calendar, they counted down the days in order to come see me. I mean, it was like, I started bawling in the clinic, you know. It was like a mom and a daughter who came in, and we just need more people to do this. We need to hire people, we need to train them, and there's an emergency epidemic going on now. If you haven't been affected personally, I'm sure you've seen other people affected by it. And what these programs do is take what I've learned in the clinic here at Duke and allow other people to get access to it. And again, you can help out. So I've treated metabolism and inflammation problems on the left-hand side there. Obesity is like just that's like bread and butter now. I mean, butter and butter now. Butter on cheese now. Type 1 and 2 diabetes, gestational and postpartum weight loss, PCOS, which is a common cause of infertility. And now what I see is the OBGYNs use their infertility treatments, and when they don't work, they go, oh, well, maybe you should lose weight first. And then they send them to me after they try their very expensive treatments. And then in many cases, people get pregnant within a month or 2 of just changing the diet. It's pretty amazing. So irritable bowel syndrome, check. Fatty liver, check. Heartburn, check. There's a book out there, very little known, called The Heartburn Cure by Norm Robillard. It's been out there forever. It's a low-carb keto diet. After diabetes, the heartburn medicines are the second most common medicines I take away from people because they no longer need them. So think about the money that you can save, or your loved ones, or even the health system could save. And then lymphedema is a little less common, but that gets better too. And I was invited to speak at a conference in Denver about lymphedema, and nobody knew any answer. In fact, the only answer was to fly to Germany to the closest clinic, the Foldy clinic in Germany, and have lifestyle and surgery and all that. No, that's not the only thing. So it's like we're teaching LCHF and keto to areas where they think there's nothing available, but actually there is. So that's pretty exciting. And it also shows that there's a huge population beyond diabetes and obesity who can benefit from this. Heart failure, pre-heart transplant patients, got a recent email with another list of 6 people who are on the heart transplant list, so their hearts aren't working. They have a implanted pump in their heart, and they can't get a transplant because they're too heavy. So what's the heart failure doctor going to do? Send them for surgery? No. Put them on a medicine that might harm the blood pressure? No. Cut the carbs. And they lose weight. So they send them to me. And I cut the carbs. Now, these folks need to be careful with the vitamin K and the sodium and the water, so you need to have trained clinicians to understand how to handle these complicated patients. But I practice the best internal medicine that I've ever practiced in my life by taking away carbohydrates from someone's food. How crazy is that? Post-bariatric surgery regain, you might think surgery is the answer for weight loss. 50% of folks regain their weight even after weight loss surgery. And that is not only disturbing to me, it's disturbing to the patient who thought that this was going to fix them. And they were told that this was going to fix them by the other doctors who said this was the only way to do it. So anyway, medication, I woke one day, if you're ever put on prednisone for some problem that you're also given a low carb diet, well, if you're already doing it, you won't gain the weight when you're put on prednisone, but there are a lot of medicines that doctors are causing the problem and don't know that changing the food is the answer. Because we just weren't trained, we just weren't told that that was important. So I realized I couldn't change the world just from doing it. I was, calculated all the people I've treated, 5,000 people over the last 6 or 7 years. And there are millions of people that need this. Millions. So how do we scale that up? Well, I team with entrepreneurs. I'm not a businessman. I'm a doctor. And so the HEAL Clinics is a way to help people with non-medical weight loss and medical weight loss. And then the ADAPT company is the one that provides the keto-friendly foods for every now and then. The major philosophy is not to push products, not to make you buy this tonic, and oh, by the way, you do a keto diet. It's real food comes first. Okay. So if you don't know about the details, the HEALcare, the clinical company is based on really 3 things. One is the dietary recommendations, the personalized guidance. So my dream clinic, which I basically am creating, the HEAL Clinics, was to provide the personal support that I can't give in my own clinical practice at Duke. Roy, I see you here, and I know you're hiding, but we give the best clinical support, personal support we can, but for a lot of people it's just not enough. So what we did is we came up with the best kind of personalized guidance. We call them partners and supervision if needed, so that you can get, especially early on, the individualized personal support to sustain the lifestyle change like this. So we now have opened, actually Ann Edgerton in Pinehurst is opening a clinic in January, and she's just seeing me at the clinic now, learning about how to do this in detail. Basically, I'm using the clinics we have going as teaching places to teach other doctors what to do. We've had people travel here from all over the world, from Australia. We're working with a group from China who wants to come, and that'll probably happen in January. So there's a big increase in the medical interest, although most US doctors still don't understand that food is medicine, and that real good food actually is therapeutic for the chronic non-infectious medical conditions that we have in the US. So in Virginia, Austin, Sproul, and then Katie Hogan, 2 clinics there, and I have the one here in Durham on Mondays. We're close to the next 12 clinics when everything's getting up and running. And so HEALcare is non-medical weight loss nationwide now. So if you don't have a medical problem, we will teach you from anywhere in the US. And if you have a medical problem, that we review the information you put in on the website. If you have a medical problem, then we'll funnel you to the closest clinic that's available for HEAL. And this week I had someone fly in from California and I had people coming from all over the country. We want to make it easier and not having to have to travel so far to get this kind of information. And that's the kind of the update on the HEAL clinics. We just started a fundraiser. In fact, it started a couple days after this last clinic, or after the support group, so I couldn't announce it then. There's strict rules. This is through the Securities Exchange Commission in the US, but it's open now, and so that you can actually make the change yourself. And I looked up who's ever done an investment in a crowdfunding sort of campaign. So about 5, 6 of you. Now, I'm not talking about funding a Kickstarter where they do a conference or you get a product. This is buying stock in a company. How many of you have ever purchased stock in a company or at a crowdsourcing? Oh, okay. That's more than I would have thought. So the average age of people who know about crowdfunding is in the 20s and 30s, under the age of 40. And what it does, though, the whole idea is that for as little as $480, you can buy stock, you can fund this company and change healthcare today. So if you've ever thought, what can I do? Or what can I do for a loved one who has everything, giving time of year, you can change the world, join in the idea that food is more important than medication, and help the HEAL clinics go to the next level. And that is the fundraiser we have now through the end of January. I'm on every podcast and Facebook group that they'll let me on talking about this, till I'm blue in the face, because there's no one else doing this. There's nowhere else you can actually move the keto needle forward. Thank you. So check it out at healclinics.com/offering, or any of us will help you figure out where to do it. At the other fundraiser in Pinehurst, well, it wasn't a fundraiser, but I helped someone on their phone that night, help invest right there, and then we played her a special song as a result. So that was a lot of fun. And really, this all started because of these 2 patients of mine some years ago who did this, against my better judgment, and I kept following data. And there were a couple people on the low-carb cruise who said, you have to do something, you have to. And I know, it's not me, I know, it's not me. Yes, it's me. So that when fully funded, this is the rest of my life, personally, okay? So, and I don't know that I've ever said that publicly, but the HEAL Clinics creation and keeping that going, to be able to scale up the availability of this information. I'm sorry, patients of mine who might have just heard that I might not be a Duke, but it's not going to happen imminently unless some magic occurs. But the reason is, in order to get this available to many, many, many more people, my role is to teach, is to train, and that's one way that we can make this available. And so consider an investment. Actually, the average investment is about $1,000. You go to the website, you can see how many people have invested and what the total amount is. And again, you're buying stock in a company. You're not just giving away the money or starting a program. Keto Fest has done this, where you buy the ticket and then but you don't get stock in a company, right? So other processes, so this is very different. This is like being able to invest with hardly any money at all. $480 minimum. So. I'd like to switch gears. That's all, talk. A lot of people are persuaded by individuals and their phenomenal success. And if you guys are interested, Amber, do you want to tell your story?
Good evening. A lot of you have heard my story, but I will tell a little bit again about it. As you can see, over here on this side, I had reached my all-time highest weight, and not only was I at the all-time highest weight, which was very upsetting looking at the scale, but I felt horrible. And I went to the doctor, and she said, we need to really write in your chart, you're pre-diabetic, but your numbers are going up. They're not going down. And so I said, no, don't write anything in the chart, don't write anything in the chart, I'll take care of it. So I started doing some research, said I've got to do something. And that was about the time that Siri called me fat. You guys have heard that story. I asked Siri to call my other cell phone, and she said, I can't find fat in your contacts. Really? But I was really miserable, and I couldn't breathe. Going up and down the stairs hurt my chest. I was in desperate shape. My joints were hurting so bad. I was been a massage therapist for over 25 years. I had blown my joints. My elbows, my wrists, my shoulders were hurting all the time. And so I went to see Dr. Westman, and I joined the HEALcare program. And what happened was Dr. Westman looked at me, and I had already started the plan prior to going, which is a no-no. You're supposed to wait. And I'd been doing it about a month when I got to Dr. Westman. And I had some blood work done right before I went. I had already reversed my prediabetes. It was down, I was in the normal range. I had not taken not one anti-inflammatory, and I was taking one of the strongest anti-inflammatories out there, maximum dose twice a day, just to be able to move my elbows. And I have not touched one of those. It'll be 2 years in January. And I lost 51 pounds, and I can run up and down the stairs. Now, don't worry, I'm not running anywhere. If you see me running, please stop and pick me up because something's chasing me. But I am feeling good every single day. I'm not taking any medications that I was taking before. I'm not on the metformin anymore. I'm not on any anti-inflammatory. And I feel wonderful. And I have to say, I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Westman because I feel like he really, truly did save my life. And I wasn't telling people how bad my chest was hurting when I was walking and how bad I felt every single day. And to be able to literally reverse that in a month where I felt like, hey, I'm going to live. I'm going to be a really active, happy 38-year-old. Okay, 51, whatever. So, but I want to say thank you to Dr. Westman and HEALcare because they actually changed my life.
I thought this is just what doctors were supposed to do. Little did I know that not every doctor listens to the patient in front of them, like 1998 for me. And then it was really inspiring at the Westwood Baptist Church just a few weeks back. Can you imagine if you're a surgeon and 400 of your post-surgical patients get together and say thank you? Can you imagine that? I mean, no, this doesn't happen. We're not trained to handle that sort of thing. I mean, this is where we have to talk to our pastor, pastoral support about how to do this. Yeah, so, I thought this is what doctors were supposed to do. And that's what we want doctors to be able to do. Mark, would you like to give your story? Thanks.
All right, everybody, my name is Mark Delutte. I started the week before Christmas of last year. My mother drugged me out of the house one Saturday morning to one of Tammy Gentry's classes in Person County, and I thought she was absolutely nuts. I sat there and listened, sat in the back, wasn't having nothing to do with it. I decided that I'd give her 30 days to see how it went. Within 30 days, I had quit taking all the pain medicine, everything that was dragging me down. And in less than 1 year, I've lost over 160 pounds. Fortunately, I am one of the younger ones, so I never did have any of the high blood pressure, diabetes, nothing like that. But I was sneaking up on 40, and everybody said that was the number that was going to get me. So I said, well, might as well go ahead and change it now. And it's given me the opportunity to meet a whole lot of new folks and make what I consider some new friends. So that's all I got, and I greatly appreciate everything you do for all of us.
Yeah, I'm still having some of that frozen barbecue that we made. We froze some and kept it from the Roxborough event. Wendy, would you like to say? Okay, Tammy will introduce Wendy. Thank you.
I will. This lady, hey, I'm Tammy Gentry. This lady right here happens to be my sister. And she's here all the way from Long Beach, Mississippi. And she's here with me this week staying, and I talked her into a success story. And when she tells you your story, you're probably going to do just like me, and I'm probably going to start bawling because we were looking at almost kidney transplant 2 years ago. And I was going to be that transplant, but luckily she listened to me and changed her life, and her kidney functions are now 100% pure. So let me introduce you to my baby sister. This is Wendy Wagner.
She's the oldest.
I'm the oldest.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Tammy. I've kind of got a cheat sheet because I do have a little bit of a unique story. I've been following Tammy's plan for several listening, not following, but listening to her and just following my sister's success and so on for many years. I can tell you, and Dr. Westmans probably heard it, I thought, no, I don't want to do this, and I don't need it, and so on, until a few years ago. So my story starts exactly 8 years ago. I had just turned 41 years old. I had had a partial hysterectomy a couple of years prior for medical reasons. And I was being followed by Duke University as part of one of their programs to monitor people under 40 who have hysterectomies. And I was happy for it. I thought it was great. If I could help somebody else, that's wonderful. And that's kind of where they started to notice the changes that I did not see in myself. Okay, I am 6 foot tall. Any weight that I carried, I think I carried it evenly, okay? Plus, I was blind to the weight in general. I didn't own a set of scales, didn't care to have a set of scales, didn't need one in my mind, okay? So, I started having a lot of major headaches. They would always show up in the morning. I would wake up, I would have a very throbbing headache. I've had migraines my whole life. It was not a migraine, okay? I knew it wasn't a migraine. But I would take Tylenol by midday. They would kind of subside, but they would never go away. So during one of my visits that I had with the nurse from Duke, she came in and I proceeded to tell her that, I was starting to have headaches, just regular headaches. And she told me, she said, well, you probably need to go see a doctor. And oh, by the way, we're starting to see that you're gaining a little bit of weight. The weight comes with hysterectomies. So have you noticed any other changes? Nope. I haven't noticed a thing, just have my headaches. Okay, well maybe you need to go see a doctor. Okay, I'll go see him just to get a checkup. That didn't happen. How many times have you heard that and you just say, okay, yeah, I've got to do it, nah, I'm too busy. I was going through a lot. Our mother had just moved in with me. She was having health problems of her own. I was a mother of a teenager. If you have a teenager or had a teenager, you know what that means. I was a wife, and I was a career woman. During this time, I was going through and dealing and leading 13 bank acquisitions and mergers in a period of 8 years, along with taking care of my mother, whose health was failing, being the mom, being the wife, all of that. Stress was building up. Me, it'll be okay. I can deal through this. I'm a strong, independent woman. I was actually on site with a client when I woke up in the hotel and had the worst throbbing headache ever. I just was lucky enough to have a coworker there with me. She sat me down. She said, there's something wrong. Humor me. I have to have blood pressure checked on a regular basis. I carry a cuff with me. She said, do you mind letting me take your blood pressure? I said, I've never had blood pressure problems. I'm fine. I'm healthy. I've just got a headache. Humor me. I said, okay. She sat me down and gave me the shock of my life. My blood pressure was 189 over 127 at 41 years old in what I thought was seemingly healthy conditions. She wanted to send me to the ER immediately. Being the defiant person that I am, I said, nope, not going. Don't care to go. But I'll see my doctor when I get back. She looked at me and she said, I'll make the appointment for you. You're going. I said, I'll go, I promise. So I go to the doctor's office. You get the normal questions. What's going on? Why are you here? What are you being seen for? What's your symptoms? I gave it all to them. I told them, look, I'm under a lot of stress. I'm sure that's what's going on with me. She said, okay, we've got to do blood work. That's normal. 2 things. She said, you're starting to gain weight. Jeez, there's that word again. Fine. Okay. She said, but you're under a lot of stress. I need you to start exercising. 15 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. But the exercise will help you with your stress level. And maybe that'll bring it down. That was the end of that doctor's visit. She took my word, we moved on. 2 days later, I received a call. I received a call from her nurse. She said, we got your blood work in and we need you to come see us. Okay, y'all had calls before, but I was like, I've never had a nurse call me back. Scared me to death, but I'm sure it's something I can take care of. So I went back to see my doctor. That's when she told me the first set of news. She told me, she said, unfortunately, your kidney levels are at the high range of a woman your age. She said, not stage 1, but they're high. I think we can reverse it. We'll set up a plan. So she proceeded to refer me to the nutritionist, and she also told me you need to keep your exercise plan up and you need to maybe do a little bit more. So that's when I took it to the extreme. I met with the nutritionist. I also started doing more and more exercises. Got really into jazzercise. I don't know if y'all heard that, but oh my God, I loved it. That's 45 minutes of hard exercise, and I really started to feel good about myself. I actually had lost 6 pounds. Was very impressed with myself. Well, that's about the same time that my sister had started her low-carb journey with Dr. Westmans. I was proceeding to tell her all of my horror stories, you know how sisters do. Tammy came in, well, you know, I've been doing this, I'm losing weight. I said, no, I'm not doing that plan. I'm not giving up my sweets and my desserts and this and that. I'm not going to do it. Plus, it's a fad diet. I'm sure y'all have heard that too from your friends. It's a fad diet. I'm sticking with my nutritionist. I'm going to do my exercise. I've lost 6 pounds. Oh my God, I'm heading in the right direction. I go back for my 6-month checkup. My kidneys are worse. They've actually started to hit the stage 1 level. I said, okay, I'll go another 6 months and let's see how it goes. We'll take it from there. From the time I saw my doctor that second time till the time that I went back to see her to have the 3rd set of blood work done, my health was going fast. I started seeing some of the residual signs of something else going on in my body. I was having painful swelling in my feet and ankles. So much swelling in my feet that I couldn't put dress shoes on. It was horrible. I had to start wearing tennis shoes to work. That was My morning headaches were back. I was falling asleep at work so bad that I ended up buying an egg timer and taking my lunch to go out to my car to sleep for 45 minutes just so I could fall asleep. Then the dreaded 41 years old, I started getting up to go to the bathroom 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times a night. That was miserable for me. I knew at that point something was wrong. Not to mention that all that exercising that I was doing was starting to take a toll on my own body. My knees were aching, my feet were killing me, I had an aggravated Achilles, I had plantar fasciitis, and I was now seeing a podiatrist that had been placed in a boot for 6 weeks for one foot to heal. Because of that boot, I was out of commission for exercising for about 6 weeks, so I started to gain that weight back. That's when I went back for my last doctor's visit. By the grace of God, intervention, whatever you want to call it, my doctor was called away for an emergency. I was seen by a replacement doctor who had retired. I walked in, he looked at me, and he looked at my chart, and he looked at me, and he said, so what's your symptoms? And I go through everything again. He said, your kidneys are still getting worse. They're not getting better. He said, but I've been studying your file. He said, I think something else is going on with you. Can you humor me? Okay. He said, do me one favor. He said, go take a sleep study. I like to fell out on the floor. A sleep study? I'm talking about my kidneys. My kidneys are having issues, and you're talking about a sleep study. Humor me. Again, somebody forcing me to do something. Okay, fine. I went and took a sleep study. Came out of that sleep study, the text said, my doctor has asked me to take a bunch of measurements on you. Then you can be seen by him. Fine. I did. He took several measurements of my body, took 4 measurements of my neck. The doctor called me in and he said, I know what your problem is. He said, I know what all of your problem is. He said, I have been reading your file. He said, I understand all of your issues. He said, you've been choking yourself to death. I said, excuse me? He said, you've been choking yourself to death. He said, most women, average women, have a neck size of 13 inches around. Mine was 21. All of my weight had went to my neck. When I was sleeping, the sleep study actually showed that my blood pressure would spike as soon as my neck muscles released. When I went to sleep, my neck muscles released, all that weight would go here and here. I was choking myself to death. My blood pressure would spike, my heart was failing, my heart was struggling, excuse me, I'm going to use the right words, it was struggling. It could not make up for everything. The weight, the water weight that I was gaining was my kidneys trying to actually recuperate for how hard they were working during the night. So, he put me on a sleep apnea machine, but he looked me right in the eye and he said, I can put you on a breathing machine all day long. He said, but I can't do anything for this. You have to. I said, well, is that going to heal me? Is that going to heal my kidneys? He said, I can't make any promises to you. He said, I can't make any promises that's going to get any better. He said, but you better try. He was the most brutal doctor I've ever met. But he was honest to me. He told me the truth. He said, every doctor told me, oh, just lose 10 or 15 pounds. Things will turn around. He looked at me, he said, you need to lose 50 pounds, young lady. He said, if you don't lose 50 pounds, this is never going to go away. Scared me half to death. I went straight to my sister. I said, okay, help me out. I don't know how to lose 50 pounds. I don't even know where to start. I was happy at losing 6 pounds. I jumped on low carb, followed Dr. Westmans' plan. My sister gave me everything that I needed to do. In 6 months, I In 8 months, I had lost my personal goal weight of 65 pounds. In 1 year, I was healthy enough that I ran my first 5K. I'm 2 years into it, and I have not gained an ounce of my weight back. And I can promise you, I will never look back. I will always eat low carb. I will not cheat, because it saved my life. I have no doubt in my mind it saved my life. I'm back down to a 12-inch neck, by the way. But I still sleep with my sleep apnea machine. But after 1 year, I got my final blood work back. Everything is normal. That's what this is about, folks. That's about.
What a great story, great testimonial. I've seen kidney failure get better if it's due to a problem that can be reversed. So if it's diabetes, that can be reversed. There are some kidney problems that are not reversible. So, but what a great, would hope that would give really I hope what you're hearing is hope in conditions that the traditional medical establishment really doesn't provide any for. This can help in places where traditional medicine, the medication approach, can't. So, thank you, Wendy. So next, Tammy, would you like to say a few words, please?
Sure.
How about thanks to Tammy for all the hard work she's done.
Thank you. So I'm Tammy Gentry. I think a lot of you guys know me, but I work with Dr. Westman now with Adapt, which is his second company. I'm working with my South Africans that I love. Anyway, my story, I'm not going to talk as long. Most of you know me. 2013, that's Christmas 2013 with my daughter. And that was a 347-pound girl that was a woman that was very, very unhappy. And the lady, this is my daughter. So 2013, she gets married, and we have, we're close, only have one daughter, and she couldn't get pregnant in 2014. She tried. She just could not get pregnant. We're going back to the low carb issues. So her doctor says the only way that you're going to ever be able to probably conceive is you need to lose some weight. And Brandy is short. So she carried her weight a little bit different than me. So in order for her to get pregnant, she wanted to go on a plan. Well, she went on Weight Watchers, and guess what I did? I made an appointment with this man at Duke. I work for Duke. Got in to see him, and boy, has my life changed since that one day that I met this man. I can't tell you how much my life has changed. It's just, I've lost the weight. I'm down a little bit, about 132 pounds, but I happen to have to go to the doctor, get some tests done, and her scale says 10 pounds less than that. So I said, oh, I need these scales. So after I met him, I started doing a lot of things in the low carb community. Said, let's start a support group nearer to my hometown in Person County, which is not that far from here, 15, 20 minutes if you meet driving, 45 for most people. But you know, the operating room don't wait. Them patients are ready to go, so I got to get in that car and get going. So anyway, I started Person County Low Carb. That's how I met Christy, Amy, all my low carb friends. This one here, Amber, I love her to death. So anyway, I'm down, but I'm not going to tell a long story on me. I just want you to see. You see what I've got now? This is my life. Have Brandy and I not lost the weight, I still wouldn't have Lori. and her doctor told her that. So she lost the weight, I lost the weight, and I'm so proud of myself because I've worked so hard to get to where I am, and you guys can do this too. It's not hard, just stick to it. But I do want you to know that I was on 2 insulin injections a day. I was on metformin. I was on every kind of opiate known to man because fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, nothing. I take nothing now. I don't even like to take ibuprofen anymore, but sometimes I do take that, but that's all. So you guys can do this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I do want to tell you that Dr. Westman mentioned next Saturday night. Some people asked me, I wasn't going around. It's not next Saturday, it's this Saturday. It's at Westwood Baptist Church, the same place that we had the huge EDAP event. It's at, you can start coming at between 4 and 5. Bring a low carb dish with you to eat. We're gonna have a potluck, and then if you got an ugly sweater, wear your ugly sweater. Because we're going to be judging. I'm pulling Amy in to judge too, so it'll be Amy, Dr. Westman, and myself. And we have some really cute trophies for ugly sweaters, so you guys participate. And then we're going to have some singing. This is not going to be anything that I want Dr. Westman to be doing a lot of talking. This is a thank you from our group, your group, for doing everything you got. So we want to enjoy him, let him sing. And I asked him tonight, could he sing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? He's so nice. He said, yes, I was kidding. But anyway, we'll get him going. And also, September of 2019, we're going to go for 1,000 people. Can we do it? So you guys pray for me between now and September. We're going for 1,000 people for the next ADAP and Heal event in Raleigh, North Carolina this time. So hang in here with me. I'll be here every month, and we'll keep giving you guys updates. And this one right here has saved my life too, so I can't forget her. Yes, you did. I wasn't this small when I met Christy, and she just, I love you. You know that. So I'm going to turn this back over to the Hill guys. So thank y'all a whole lot. Hope to see some of you Saturday night.
So I remember Christy Sullivan coming to a support group here at this hotel around the corner, and she was carrying a book, and she was happy to report that page 4, or however you want to call it, 16, 17, 18 in the HEALcare manual, which was a method of doing a keto low-carb diet that was simple. It was easy, uncomplicated, and I borrowed it from Dr. Atkins and Jackie Eberstein in 1998 when I was visiting. So don't tell anyone that. You thought I had come up with it and thanked me, and I'm just carrying along a baton, and now, you know, it's like, Christy, you're changing so many lives now. Thank you so much, and you're up now. Thank you. Christy Sullivan.
Thanks, guys. So you do remember that support group I came to in March or April of 2017. I was terrified of this man. Let me just tell you. I kind of came in quietly. He was sitting in the lobby eating. Do you remember? You were sitting in the lobby eating, and I kind of quietly came up and just like kind of took the Journey to Health book and just like, hey, come, this is for you, kind of thing. And I was scared to death, and he said, oh, we're going to go live in just a little bit. Will you go live with me? So anyway, but he was very gracious and very kind, and it was okay to approach him, and I appreciate him. And he continues to be incredibly gracious and kind. And it's just such a privilege to be able to kind of work with you in a very informal way. We had a fantastic cooking weekend in Pinehurst, and Amy came, and she spoke, and Dr. Westman spoke, and it was just like family. We had a fantastic time there. So anyway, I'm grateful. And so fun, like what better place to be? We're celebrating. Like, everybody's gotten up here has gotten teary and misty-eyed. We're supposed to be celebrating, guys. It's the holidays, and how many of you got to try the cake? Yeah? What do you think? It's diet food. Can you believe that? I have to say a special thank you to Lona. Lona, can got to try. So the recipe is in January, and I love that cake. It's a candy bar cake. Any of you ever in your family make a Hershey bar cake? My mother-in-law makes those cakes, those Hershey bar cakes, and puts all the layers and all the fatty stuff. And so somehow, after I got a chocolate cake made, I decided that I might be able to make that Hershey bar cake without the Hershey bar, right? I could use Lily's or Sucre, and Sucre makes a great milk chocolate. So I called her one day. We had been low carb for about 3 years. And I called her one day and said, hey, can you give me that recipe? And she said, you're not going to make that, are you? And I kind of chuckled, and I said, well, I'm going to try. And so I wrote down exactly how she made her recipe, and then I went into the kitchen and was able to make it. And actually took it to a family gathering that we had, and she got to try it. And it was really fun because she loved it. And so that's been the most fun part. Somebody was texting me on the way here, because when a book releases, I have to tell you, it's so lonely when you're writing. It's so lonely because you're like doing recipes, you're taking photographs, like you have an editor, and you can talk to her like, 3 or 4 times a year, but you're getting feedback on the language you're using, and is this the right amount of butter, this looks weird, or these instructions aren't clear. But it's pretty lonely because you're there by yourself trying to figure out what recipes go in here. What stories am I going to tell? Why does this matter? And then when it's done, like you spend months editing and you get back and forth copies. And so this has been done for about 2 months, and it goes to the printer and then it gets distributed. So I've been like done with this thing, but now you guys today are opening it. And it's like giving somebody a Christmas present and you wrap it and you're all excited for them to open it and they don't open it and Christmas doesn't come. And so what's fun for me now, the very, very best part of this, is you guys are going to take this book, and I have some of the recipes on my website. I'll put more, so if you don't buy the book, no pressure. I'll put more, but you're going to take these recipes, and what I love about this, so these are things I've made for my family. These are the recipes that I have celebrated with them for 6 years. We're going into our 6th holiday season, our 6th Christmas, doing keto and staying 100% on plan. Our 6th Thanksgiving we just finished. And so now these things that have become our traditions are going to become, for some of you, I know they'll become your traditions. And that is such an honor to me to kind of get to share the way I've loved my people with your people. So we're celebrating, right? All right. One of the challenges, and I write about this a little bit, one of the challenges we've had in our family is to think about food, think about fun, think about celebrating in non-food ways. Do you know what I'm talking about? I share the story of taking my family to the mountains, and I went into Walmart to get water. I was only getting bottled water, that was it, because we were going to be gone for the weekend, and I ended up, and we had been low carb, high fat, and you guys know how I am. I'm pretty strict with my family, and or not strict with them, but with the way we eat. And I went in, and I immediately saw this display of donuts. And I was like, well, that'll be fun. The kids love donuts. And I'm like, wait a minute, we don't eat donuts. What am I doing? Well, we're on vacation, right? So I walk by them, and I go to the bottled water, which is in the back with all the soft drinks, and there's this huge, floor-to-ceiling, I've never seen anything like it, floor-to-ceiling display of cookies, Oreo cookies. And it's got every filling you can imagine, s'mores, and I don't know what they come up with, the craziness. And I'm standing there going, oh, David might like this flavor. Jonathan would like this. I can buy these Oreos and we'll have a taste test. That'd be fun. And it was like such an automatic thing because we had entertained ourselves so much with food. And I was like, almost like shaking my head going, this is not fun. We don't eat this stuff. Walk away, get the water, and get out of here. So I get the water, pushing it back. David's waiting in the car with the kids. I walk by, of course, we're in the mountains, a display of s'mores stuff, right? The chocolate bars, the marshmallows. I'm like, oh, s'mores, we're going to do a bonfire. I've got to have s'mores. We don't eat this crap. You've got to get out of the store. And so I've got just the water, and I realized, because every time I had looked at these things, I thought, this will be fun. The kids will love it. Like, I could see their little faces light up. S'mores on the mountain with the fire. And I was like, okay, this is wrong. I've got to change this, and I've got to be intentional about it. So at this point, I'm at the checkout, And I'm looking around for anything that's not food. And there are cards, or decks of playing cards. And I grabbed a deck of playing cards and took it back. And so I get to the car and David's like, that sure took you a while. All you got was water. And I laughed. I'm like, you have no idea what I didn't buy. And I gave the kids the cards, and they had a ball with it. And we played games, we played card games that weekend. Jonathan taught himself a magic trick that he could like show his grandfather, and we did have fun. So one of the challenges when I was writing the book was thinking about there's so many food traditions related to a holiday. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody ever do a cookie exchange? Yeah. Is there one of you, I'm going to ask the opposite question, is there any of you who doesn't have a family relative who makes that favorite dish once per year? Yeah, right, nobody is. Yeah, exactly. There's always somebody who makes that coconut cake, right? Or they make something like that. It's true. And so that can be a real challenge for us. But we've been intentional in our family, and I want you guys to share, if you don't mind, with me, what are some non-food traditions that you guys have come up with for the holidays? Can you share? Still working on it? Yeah. Go for a hike, like after Thanksgiving or Christmas. That is perfect, because you're not like sluggish and laid out on the sofa going, oh, I wore my stretchy pants. Right, because you feel good, exactly. We have a tradition in our family, we always pile up in the car, usually twice per season, and go look for Christmas lights. Do y'all do that? We go look for Christmas lights, and then my kids have gotten to the age where, oh, that's tacky. And so they pick out the one they think is the most tacky, the one they like that they want to do, but we listen to Christmas music and ride around in the neighborhood, different neighborhoods, and look for Christmas lights. So we do that. That's a big thing for us. Anybody else? Yeah?
My family has a movie.
Oh, movie. Yeah. For Christmas?
Yes, and for Thanksgiving.
And Thanksgiving. Oh, that's a great idea. We have done movies for New Year's Day. We do like a pajama day, and we take turns picking movies out. So, which is probably not a good idea, because my mother always told me that what you do on New Year's Day, you'll do the whole rest of the year. But we try to be lazy on that day and just enjoy it. Last year, somebody dropped by unexpectedly, and we were a bit embarrassed that we were all still in pajamas watching TV at 2 in the afternoon. But anyway, it was a family member, so it was all good. Any other fun traditions that you guys have come up with? No. We have a non-food tradition about stockings. I'll share with you real quick. I always put toothbrushes and dental floss in the stockings. And I didn't think that was weird until coworkers and I were talking about. They're like, "Why do you put toothbrushes in stockings?" And I'm like, well, I can make sure they change their toothbrushes. That's my way, because we get so busy. So I make sure they get new toothbrushes, so it's not food. They do get like a Lily chocolate bar or something like that in their stockings, but they usually get, Grace will get earrings, they get art stuff, they get bubbles, they get really kind of fun stuff that, again, trying not to overemphasize the food part of it. And I'm trying to think of other things, and I don't know, you're making me nervous. I'm forgetting some of the non-food traditions, Dr. Westman?
Singing around the piano.
Singing around the piano, that's right. Yeah. Oh, Christmas music, dancing. We will stream Christmas music into a dance party sometimes with the kids, although now that they're older, they don't like to do it as much. But yeah, anything like that is a great idea, the music. Yeah.
We take, our kids are older, and when they would have like a girlfriend, boyfriend kind of thing on Christmas, we would give Nerf guns for all of them, and we would always use the bullet things and let the girls have them, and it was hilarious.
Oh, they had Nerf gun fights. That's a great idea. I love it. Again, getting up and getting moving. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah.
I had my 3-year-old grandson today, and I did with him all by himself without his little brother, just a friend. And I saved last year's Christmas cards, and you take contact paper and then clear, but you do cut out the Christmas cards and you put it on the contact paper, cover it with clear, and then you cut it around. You got a placemat with yo. But the thing is, it's fun to do with adults. You throw all the Christmas cards out, everybody puts contact paper. It's a really fun thing to do because it makes the grown-ups feel like kids again, and they last forever.
what she's saying, they make placemats. They take the Christmas cards and use contact paper and cover it with clear and make placemats. That's a fun, Grace would love that. That's a fun thing to do too. Yeah. We also do puzzles. I give puzzles to the grandparents, and so when they open them, then we sit around and we do the puzzle together. And it's so much fun because we usually leave them out for a week or so, and people kind of come and go, and they sit down. It's so amazing how people will come over to visit, and we end up at the table working on the puzzle. And the conversations that come out while you're doing the puzzle, you're not eating, but you're just working on the puzzle. It's really kind of fun. I love those. It kind of forces me to slow down and relax and actually connect because I'm talking and doing the puzzle. Okay, those are great ideas, guys, and keep that in mind. And I think part of it is being aware of it, because I had so unconsciously associated food with fun that I didn't think about it. I was just naturally going to pick up the donuts, naturally going to do the s'mores. And instead of s'mores, you know what we roasted on the mountain that day? Sausages and hot dogs. Exactly. It was fantastic. Grace has even smoked jerky over the fire. So yeah, we do hot dogs and cheese. You can have low heat, like not like directly in the flame, but you can like smoke cheese. And so we've done those kinds of fun things with no chocolate marshmallows or.
I think the whole thing was that you roasted something.
Right, exactly. It's fire.
That's what it was.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You didn't do the other. You roasted something.
You gotta have something to roast.
That's the place.
That's right. That's exactly right. But yeah, and that was it. We had a great time. And we still do those kinds of things when we go and have bonfires. But we realize now too, we're not so hungry, and so we're not constantly eating. We have so much more time to like actually enjoy each other and to do things because of that. All right, we're going to switch to another tradition. Have you given food gifts in the past? Yeah. Well, what about some keto food gifts for folks? Want to get some ideas for that? Dr. Westman, will you help me with this? Yeah? Because it's the holidays and we're celebrating, I have something for you.
Me?
Yeah, for you. Here's the first thing. It's not wrapped.
Well, do I open it now?
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, yes. Do I wear it now?
Well, we're celebrating. Isn't it cheerful? See, we need this. Was that or a reindeer? I figured, so yeah, it looks great. It's perfect. I figured that was better than like the reindeer. And then I did actually get you a gift, a little something. And I really thought about this. I'm like, I don't think he cooks very much. And I don't think he really cares about decorating like his place or anything.
So what?
Decorating where you live, like your place, decorating. Yeah, he didn't strike me as that kind of guy. And I didn't know, like, I wouldn't buy him clothes. That's too personal, right? And coffee cups, like, he probably has hundreds of those. So I had to really think about it. I mean, I went to 3 stores before I decided what might be the perfect gift for you. Yeah. 3 different stores. And I'm busy. But I finally went somewhere I didn't figure he would go like as frequently as I do.
Uh-oh.
I didn't figure he knew. Like I didn't figure he would troll the convenience stores. So this is from a convenience store, and I know he likes these.
Open it now. Oh. Yes. Pork rind. And more pork rind.
These are my favorite flavors, and you can't find them in grocery stores. Like you have to troll the convenience stores.
Yeah, the best pork rinds are at the truck stops.
Yes.
Well, although there's gourmet ones now. Gourmet pork rinds. And you can send away for microwave bacon curls. So that they come out just like popcorn in the microwave, but they're pork rinds.
Where do you find those? Because I just heard about those today.
So Walmart, Dollar General, Amazon.com is the most reliable place. You know, if you.
So look at Dollar General, they do something.
Yeah. So.
So for the Carolina Country Cracklins, I have only found those at convenience stores. You have to go to but you have to share.
But you know, times are changing, right? Because I went out to a store, a restaurant, and I got an entree of pork belly. You know, the thick, it's like 10 strips of bacon all together. And the entree was pork belly, and the side was pork rind. It was heaven! No, it was great. And it was in Durham. I didn't have to say the place, but Cloud Brewery. Cloud Brewery. I looked on the menu. I guess you don't follow my Twitter feed, because actually I tweeted it. Yeah, at Dr. Eric Westman is my Twitter handle. But times are changing. So pork rind, gourmet pork rinds. And now, have you made a cake out of pulverized pork rinds yet?
So not a cake, but pancakes. I have made pancakes. Actually, if you look in the book in my banana pudding recipe, the wafers, the way I make vanilla wafers, uses pork rinds. Makes it very low carb.
How do you prepare them?
I'll give you a book.
Yeah. But actually, I want to buy a book, and I understand you have some books still that need to be sold tonight. Don't let them take them back to Pinehurst. I mean, that's just tragic. So anyway, and you'll sign my book tonight too?
I'll sign your book.
Okay.
I'll sign your book. But I also want to show you guys some Christmas ideas, and you're going to help me with this. So what I did, and please don't hold this against me, I am terrible when it comes to like putting things together with bows and stuff. But this is actually
I think that's twine.
Twine. Well, this is twine. You're right. But this is a pork rib rub. The recipe is in Keto Living, but this is the pork rib, and I tried to keep it in layers, and it didn't work so great. But I'm sorry, he's saying you can't hear me. I did try to keep it in layers. It didn't work so great. But I've got directions, so you can put this together. All you do is follow the recipe, put the dry ingredients together. I have the directions on the back, on the gift card, and I can give this to someone as a gift. So that's the pork rub, and I'm going to put this over as a gift, so you guys can win that as a prize. This is taco seasoning. And the same kind of thing, I put directions, use 2 tablespoons per 1 pound of meat. So whether you're using ground beef or chicken or whatever. And so I think that would make a cute little gift, right? For somebody, maybe. And one of my favorite things of all time, ranch dressing mix. Do you guys make this stuff? Oh my gosh. I actually sprinkled this over scrambled eggs this morning. Jonathan and I had scrambled eggs and steak for breakfast. I put it over scrambled eggs. I make a soup with it. You can make dressing, though that's kind of boring. You can also put it over, chicken before you grill it, right? So there's all kinds of things. So you can give this as a gift, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make the dry ranch dressing mix that we could give as a gift, right? And I keep this up in my, I realize this is fresh. This is not from my cabinet, but I do keep this made up in my cabinet because all you do is mix it with mayonnaise, sour cream, and some heavy cream and lemon juice, and you have the best ranch dressing I think you've ever. People who have this are like, why would you buy a bottle of ranch? And the good news is we have a sample for you guys. Amber did 435 of them. It just felt like it. But Amber has samples of those, so you guys can all take one, and you can win these tonight. So we're going to mix it. We'll show you how easy and how quick this is. And the best part, the folks at HEALcare, let me grab this stuff. We haven't rehearsed. Slide it over. And can you grab? So the folks at HEALcare, you can go on their website. And here's a printout. They did the card for you. You print it out. So this is the recipe. And it's going to be smaller when you get there. Here's a gift tag. So you can get a cute little jar, right? Go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or somewhere, get a cute little jar. And you can gift it with the recipe. The dry recipe mix is on here. And how to make the ranch dressing. And then you've got a little gift tag. It'll be smaller, but you've got a little gift tag that you can attach and give it as a gift. Yeah? Yeah. All right. We're going to do this. All right. Here's your jar. We each have our own jar. Okay, and I'm going to have to cheat and look at this. So what we start with are the 2, and I just literally, these came from my cabinet. I didn't get fancy for you guys tonight. I didn't have time. And so parsley, And this is black pepper. I did grind it, so it's like freshly ground. Salt. It's not Himalayan pink. Dill weed. Onion powder. And garlic powder. All right, that's all that goes into this, right? So we can do this?
Absolutely.
Last time we were working together, what were we making?
Hollandaise sauce?
Hollandaise sauce. Have you made it
I
since
don't
then?
remember. Wait.
Yeah. Have you made it since then?
No.
No, you're supposed to make it. You're supposed to keep practicing. Okay, so we're going to start with 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper. So I'm trying to hold this. I'm going to have to let you. Yeah, so that's a 1/4 teaspoon. That's a tablespoon.
So 2 of these, 2 of those.
This one, the 1 teaspoon. Yeah, so 2 teaspoons. I'm going to let you do it while I hold the mic. Is that okay?
Just put it in the bottom?
Yeah, just toss it. It's all good. Just toss it in.
No, do I have to be real, like, precise?
No, not real precise. It smells really strong, actually. It's not that it.
There's not enough for you.
It's good. You're good. Yeah, you're good. Well, it is strong. Let's cover that up. Okay, and so now we have 3/4 cup of parsley flakes. I brought the 1/4 cup measure because the jar lid is so small. I was afraid we would just like dump it all over the table. So we're gonna put. Can you do that math? It's 3/4 cup, and you got a 1/4 cup measure. I'm really teasing. I love that he lets me do that. He's such a big sport. Yeah?
Put it on top of the...
Just on top. It doesn't. It's okay. The technique really doesn't matter here. To what?
There's a reason I wasn't a surgeon.
That's what he said. There's a reason he wasn't a surgeon. This is not rocket science.
3/4.
3/4? It's a lot of parsley. Yay! All right, so that one's done. 1/3 cup. Wait, it sounds like a lot. 1/3 cup of garlic powder. Ooh, I didn't grab the 1/3 cup.
Can we, like, improvise?
We can improvise. 1/4 cup plus 1 1/3 tablespoon makes a 1/3 cup. Did y'all know that?
Come on. That's too much to remember.
Well, we're going to do 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon. I know it's not as easy as it looks, is it?
It's easy.
It's easy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
A
and...
tablespoon, yeah. See, at home I just take the top off and I like to do a good layer.
Oh.
That little extra's alright.
You're good. Because it's 1 1/3, so then it's like a teaspoon.
This.
Yeah. Here, let me show you. Just take that. Oh, now the garlic is going to put us out. Oh. Okay, that's working. Now see, and David doesn't love this because of all the garlic. When I make it, he's like, I smell it through your skin. I'm like, is there a problem? Okay, and 1/3 cup onion powder, the same kind of craziness. It's going to take one of those, one of these, one of this. I'm going to have to worry about there. Look at the pretty layers. Now we're gonna stir it all together. And certainly before you use it to make anything, you want to stir it all together. And then salt. Wow, we're getting close, aren't we?
It's almost too full. Did I measure something wrong?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe I overestimated that jar. And all we have left is the salt and the dill weed. So can we do that? A tablespoon equal to our tablespoon. How's that?
I don't know.
I think I'm stressing him out. I should have put it on the plate. I didn't think about that. I have to eat that. He's just being so careful with it. It's kind of funny because I'm in the kitchen like flinging stuff. Yeah?
Try not to make a mess.
You're doing great.
I'm the only one with ears. I just realized this. Why is someone taking a picture of me doing this? Oh. Okay. So hold
I couldn't buy myself a gift. I mean, a whole tablespoon. You don't get yourself a gift. Perfect. Look, that's perfect. Now can you put the top? Look at that. There you go. Cover it. And then, you know, I'm not great. You can see what I did here. I'm really not great with these kinds of bows and things, but you have the little tag that you print off. You have the recipe card that you can give them. And just print it on heavy stock. And, you know, you can actually just
Put a bow on.
put a bow on it. That's right. And go to the HEALcare website. The recipe is there. The tags are there that you can download and print for free. And then you can share it out with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's time for the drawing.
Yes, and you know what? Let's ask Eileen, one of our partners.
Eileen, would you like to come up and do some drawing, please? One of the HEALcare partners. Thank you for that.
Okay, so let's see. Choose one.
Okay, let's see. Let's go with the first gift that we're going to give away is one of the Sucre packages over there. You just tell me who it is and I will.
Okay, Emily Martine.
All right. Emily Martinez. Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
Move along. This is fun. Sandra Lilly.
Come on down.
And I got Linda Shadowin. Shadowin. All right, Mavis. Edmondson.
Christy, do you want to say something about these products real quick?
So, this is the Isopure Whey Protein Isolate. So, thanks. I don't have a voice. This is the Whey Protein Isolate. If you're going to bake any of the baked goods, this is the stuff you really want. I really only recommend this brand or J. Robb. Remember, it's the isolate. It has the lactose and the casein removed. And so this is the really, really good stuff. You can get it at GNC. It can be pricey, but you're using about a third to maybe a half cup in most recipes. So this will last a long time. But that's the Whey Protein Isolate. This is the oat fiber. How many of you ever used oat fiber? Yeah, it's the good stuff. So if you didn't get this brand, you may hate me. There are only two brands that are really actually pretty good. Life Source, this is Life Source, or Trim Healthy Mama, which is also gluten-free. Keep in mind that if you buy a different brand, it may taste really, really strong. The thing about oat fiber is the pure insoluble fiber from the outside of the oat. And so it's not the same as oatmeal or oat bran. I can only find it online, so you do have to order it. But it gives a flour-like mouthfeel. So if you tried the cake tonight, you had some oat fiber. You're also going to take home some sausage balls. And the sausage balls are made with some oat fiber as well. Okay, and then this, peanut flour. Have you ever cooked with peanut flour? No? Yeah, one person back there. So the peanut flour is phenomenal. It makes, I have a cake in the chapter of March. It's a peanut butter cake with a chocolate ganache. And you would use peanut flour for that. If you're gonna you ever had cow patty cookies? Peanut flour goes in the cow. You've never had a cow patty cookie. He's like, what is she talking about? He's not from around here. Traditionally they're made with chocolate and oatmeal, right? So there's no oatmeal in my recipe, but there is some peanut flour, and there's actually a little secret, I'll tell you, hemp seed hearts. And so I use the hemp seed hearts. I'm sorry? Where do you find that? Do you know I actually found some of those at Aldi's? Big Lots. And Big Lots. lots will have them. Of course, Walmart, Trader Joe's has them. Make sure they're shelled. If you don't get the shell, you'll hate me for that too. But anyway, the peanut flour is used in the Reese's peanut butter cubby hats at Easter. They're used in the cow patty cookies, the March cake, muffins. I make some other muffins with them, so all kinds of stuff.
But that's information somewhere we can find it. So we don't have to remember what brand we can post it on the site.
It's in the book. I actually talk about in the front of the book where I talk about the ingredients. Sorry. It's actually in there. I talk about all that stuff. So it's just some get you started stuff.
Great. I'm going to buy a book. I hope you do. Well, really, I mean, have the author come by, sign a book. I didn't really understand what that meant until I wrote a book and signed a book. Fantastic. Do we have some more?
Yes, we
more handout?
We have all these
Patty?
little gifts here.
Let's keep it going. It's like 2, 4, 6, 8.
Patrick McCarthy. Patrick here? There he is. Karen Francola. Karen? Where are you? Where are you? All right. Beverly Jennings.
She's one of mine.
Ben Franklin. Nancy Hicks. All right. James Lynch. Natalie Franklin.
A signed copy of Ginny and Christine Moore's new book, Real Food Keto. Awesome.
And the answer is, the winner is Sherry Franklin.
Like the whole table.
Okay.
One last one?
Yes, one last one.
Lori Darlow.
And that's a signed copy too. This is a signed copy. Okay, that's good.
I think that's it
Oh,
for
did you
the.
have Oh, yeah, I'll read it.
Oh, 2 more?
Yeah.
And is the, we don't do anything for the Facebook Live, everyone's doing that online.
Yes, that's,
Okay.
yes.
Awesome. A couple more?
Okay, Gracie Holder.
I think that's it.
Keto Living?
Is it, are we doing keto living or is that?
Didn't we get one of those already? Oh, we didn't. I'm sorry.
We
I
gave
thought
your
we
first
one of
book
those.
away.
I gave you first away.
And I have to tell you, these are ones like the one you just got. These are.
Sorry, I have to tell you, these are ones that have been in my kitchen that I've been using, so they're slightly used. So you don't have a copy of this copy, so I thought I'd just drag them off the kitchen.
That might mean it's worth more. Used by Christy in the kitchen.
That makes it more fun. Okay, Ginger Ducharme. Congratulations. There you go.
Thank you so much. Excellent. Okay, so looks like there are a couple announcements that you might want to write this down. HEALclinics.com has a holiday center for a holiday keto resource center. So it's HEALclinics.com/holiday center, HOLIDAYCENTER. Heal Clinic's online public offering, of course, that we talked about to get involved in buying stock in the company is HEALclinics.com/offering or stock offering. And then enrolling in HEALcare, HEALclinics.com/enroll. And you fill out a simple questionnaire online. Of course, here, Christie's Facebook page is called Simply Keto, Christy Sullivan, Simply Keto. The Facebook group is called Low Carb Journey, parentheses, Cooking Keto with Christy. And then the YouTube channel, which I recommend all the time, if you want to like watch on Food Network. Can you see Christy on Food Network someday? Yeah. Shaking your head like, yeah. I don't know how that happens, but if you make that happen, that would be pretty awesome. And her YouTube channel is, well, just look at Cooking Keto with Christy. You can click on it. Well, are we winding down for the evening? How are we doing time-wise? Kind of lost track. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. How about thank you to all of the people behind the scenes, Shannon, Christy, Amber, Eileen. Thank you so much. Until the next time. See you next time.